Hi, this is Becca, and this is TriTutoring's lesson on the order of operations. As we simplify numeric expressions, it's important to know the order in which we must go through and combine some terms. So it's helpful to know the device for this order of operations, and you've probably heard it before, PEMDAS. PEMDAS tells me the order in which I need to simplify the expression. It starts with P. P is parentheses. E is exponents. M is for multiplication. D is division. A is addition, and S is subtraction. So as I look at an expression, I want to see, are there any parentheses? If so, then let me start there. Are there any exponents next? As I consider multiplication and division, these are actually one step together, and I will either multiply or divide looking from left to right. And then same with addition, subtraction. That's really another step connected together. And we will either add or subtract looking from left to right in the expression. So let's practice this with a few expressions. So for the first expression, I have 3 plus 2 times 7. It's helpful on my work to always go through and write PEMDAS again. I want to remember what order I'm supposed to go in, and I want to start with the parentheses. Well, in this case, I don't see any parentheses. There's no grouping symbols used here. I also notice that there aren't any exponents. The first thing I encounter as I look through that word, PEMDAS, I notice that I have multiplication here. So I want to multiply 2 times 7, which gives me 14. At this point, I keep working through PEMDAS. So I've done that multiplication. There's no division. Now I have addition. So if I take 3 plus 14, I get 17, and that's my simplified answer. On the next, I have 4 plus 3 squared. So again, I'm going to remind myself PEMDAS. Looking from left to right in order of that word, I notice I don't have any parentheses, but I do have an exponent. That 3 squared, that 3 to the second, is my exponent. So I need to start here. 3 squared, 3 to the second is 9. So now my expression says 4 plus 9. As I continue through PEMDAS, I don't have any multiplication or division. Again, I have addition here. 4 plus 9 is 13. So that's my simplified answer. On the next, I have 1 plus 8 squared. So let's write PEMDAS. And as I go in order and I start with that parentheses, I see here I do have parentheses. I have that grouping term on the outside of this. So I want to start by looking inside. And actually, as we look inside the parentheses, we even go in order with the order of operations for the inside terms. So if there was anything to decide between, I would use that PEMDAS again inside here. I only have 2 terms inside of the parentheses on this problem. It's 1 plus 8, which is 9. So that gets the parentheses completed because now there's nothing else to simplify inside of the parentheses. Next, I have an exponent because I have now 9 squared. So using that exponent, 9 squared, I get 81. If I had more terms inside of the parentheses, like instead of 1 plus 8, maybe it said 1 plus 8 times 2. This is where we would need to again consider PEMDAS for inside of the parentheses. And I would notice here, actually, we need to multiply before we add. So this parenthetical would become 1 plus 16, and then I would add. It becomes 17. So notice the difference. I still have to do that order of operations inside. We're looking at 5 times 3 plus 1 in parentheses here. So if I look at PEMDAS, I do see that I have parentheses first. Simplifying the parentheses, I would need to add together the 3 plus 1, which becomes 4. I don't have any exponents. I do have multiplication here. So when you see two terms that are side by side, that's implying multiplication. So this 5 is multiplying by 4, and 5 times 4 is 20. Now there's a second way I could go through and solve this one. I could actually use something called distributing instead of combining the terms inside of the parentheses first. If I distribute, I'm taking that 5 and I'm multiplying it to everything inside of the parenthesis. So I would take that 5 times 3 to make 15, plus 5 times 1 makes 5. So distributing takes that multiplication and it sends it to each term separately. Notice here, 15 plus 5 gets me the same answer, 20. Lastly, we have 8 plus 5, parenthesis 1 plus 2. So if I write out PEMDAS, I start with the parentheses. The parentheses here is that 1 plus 2. So 1 plus 2 makes 3. Once I've done the parenthesis, I don't see any exponents. I do have multiplication or division. In this case, we have multiplication with the 5 times 3. 5 times 3 makes 15. So it's 8 plus 15. And then I look for addition or subtraction. And I do have addition for this last step. 8 plus 15 gives me 23. And that's the final answer. So hopefully this reminds you those steps for the order of operations. Our phrase PEMDAS here to tell us the order in which we need to look as we simplify, and just a variety of examples on how to use those steps. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.